Andy, we've got two things to talk about today. We've got first team playing Worthing on Saturday, and most excitingly, the Colts have got their Cup semi-final on Sunday. So if we start with Worthing, what's the team looking like for that match?
Well, there's no getting away from the fact that we have still got quite a few injuries, but I think we may just be a little bit easier in the backs this week than we were last week, where we press ganged Greg Palmer and Matt Boll to move away from the security of the forwards and play in the backs. And Greg scored a try, which I'm sure he'd be happy about. They did let themselves down, but I'm sure they'd be far happier playing in the forwards. So at the moment, Ian Herriot is fine. Ian was going to be with us last week until he got a stomach bug overnight. We seem to have 2 or 3 of those last week. Oscar is also available this week and wasn't available last week. And then Miles and JJ, although Miles, along with Andy Gale, have got a Hampshire under-20s game on Sunday, so we may only use them for half a game maximum. Better in the backs than we were last week. Front row is still an issue with Tom Fiddler starting to make a little bit of progress, but still not 100%. Ali the same with his nose. Tom Bax is still struggling with his back, but I haven't seen him for ages because he's down in Cardiff. Luke Sawyer with his knee. Tom Sanders is back and hopefully available, but again I've got to consider his availability for the Colts, and whilst I'm doing my best to make sure that those guys aren't involved, I may just have to use Tom for a short period of time at the very least. Otherwise we're just not going to get a team out on Saturday, and important though the Colts game is, we need to get a team out on Saturday.
Okay, how's Nathan?
Nathan's fine in some respects, because at the time when he got injured, he had hurt his neck and obviously had some pain into his shoulder and his arm, and that was the concern when we stretched him off. But also he'd taken a bit of a nasty bang just below his eye, and it's that's holding him back now, because he obviously was stretchered off and had all the necessary tests done on his neck and his shoulder, and at the same time his cheek and around his eye. And so from a bone point of view, all that was cleared, so we're happy about that. And his neck and his shoulder seems to have settled down, but he's had a bit of blood sort of into the eye. If you've ever seen a sort of a white bit that looks red, well, he's got that, and that's affected his vision. Again, the last thing we want to do is irritate that and cause sort of permanent damage. So in some respects he's okay, but in other respects he's struggling with that eye. So that's what's holding him back, really.
Okay, get well soon, Nathan. And Sunday we've got the semis of the National Colts Cup against Bedford. Who would it be right to say they're the favourites?
I would imagine they pretty much are, certainly by the time they get to this stage of the competition. It's a bit harsh on anybody to give themselves the favourites tag right at the beginning of the competition, but now they've got to this stage. They've been at this stage many, many times before, and got themselves to the final and won the final. So, yeah, they're pretty much the favourites out of the 4 sides that have left. And if you look at their results in the competition, they're putting in some pretty impressive scorelines. So it's going to be a tough game for our boys, but they've got them at home. I think that would be useful to have. I think Bedford would be a completely different proposition at Bedford. But it's going to be hard work for them, yeah.
But they've raised their game, haven't they, in every round?
Yes.
So they've got nothing to be scared of.
No, I think the last thing they need to do is, they're obviously a very confident group of players. They've had a successful season. They've put in some good performances, and with that, in any team, a winning culture is a good one to have. So they're very confident in their own abilities. So I don't think we've got any problems in that respect, but they certainly don't want to be overawed by the name Bedford, because they're there to be beaten. Certainly they'll have the, I'm going to say luxury, but they will be the underdogs. But if they continue to play the sort of rugby they did against Hornets, and certainly when they went down to Cleve and in other rounds, then yes, why not? Why not beat Bedford before the final, and then take on whoever arrives in the final. If you're going to win the competition, you're going to have to beat Bedford at some stage. Yes, ideally you'd maybe want to do it on final day, but why not do it in the semi-final? They certainly shouldn't be scared of the opposition, and I'm sure they're not in some respects.
No. Okay, well, good luck to the Colts, and let's hope lots of people come down and watch.
Yeah.
Thanks, Andy.